Derby County are set to play against Leeds United today, and I will be completely honest with you, it's rare, but I'm feeling really, really, really confident on this one. I'm going to run through what happened last time, what Derby's squad is looking like, if we've dealt with the away curse, my sort of guess as to our predicted lineup, and whether or not it'll be different in this match. But we've got to remember, at Elland Road, we hammered Derby. So I guess we're going to sort of see what direction we're heading with this one. And when it comes to last time, there was absolutely zero doubt. We left it without question. People were coming out of that saying that Derby were potentially the worst team that we had seen at Elland Road in an extended period of time. Everyone was very confident about it. Derby did basically nothing to us. I'm very quickly going to bring up the full sort of match report from that one because I think it's going to be genuinely quite interesting. I've slightly forgotten it, but if I remember right, they didn't have a chance. Let's have a look. Match report. Yeah, they had 0.2 XG, we had 1.2, and just played them off the park. They did effectively nothing. Tried to kick us a bit, didn't work out. Max Fober genuinely looked like a very, very good footballer in one of his first matches back and scored a goal, and the second half we just sort of waltzed it. That's the sort of thing that could very, very feasibly happen this time out against Derby County, but I had a little bit of a look in a little bit more detail at Derby's squad, and to be fair to them, if they are a little bit better at home, which we'll get into a little bit later, they've maybe got a bit of a shot here. After all, they are an experienced side. We know that from last time, but that means that they're basically a team that you can likely get around a significant proportion of the time, and they play very, very compact stuff, both home and away. They are not a team that will play adventurous, swashbuckling football anywhere. They're a side that is built to do the defensive stuff, and then occasionally Jerry Yates will play some attacking football. And if it's not Jerry Yates, it'll be a James Collins or someone along those lines. Who's their top scorer so far this season? That is genuinely a good question. Because, yeah, it's Jerry Yates. He's scored 5 goals this season. They're not a spectacular side. I'm building reasons that I'm feeling confident, but I'll get into why I might not be in a little bit more detail later on. But there is question as to whether or not Leeds United have broken that away curse. Got to think, against Blackburn, we lost. Preston, we drew. Lost to Millwall. Drew with Sunderland. This season we've all been thinking, is away from home really, really bad for us? And Pride Park typically is a little bit of a spooky place. It's one of those grounds where it's sort of like, actual EFL rather than a sort of bowl thing. Genuine traditional football club, and you've got to hope that we come out of it with 3 points. And I think the away curse might be broken. And I think it might be specifically broken by that Stoke match, because when you think about it, on the face of it, the foggy night in Stoke on a Wednesday, the meme thing that built up and up and up over the years, is the perfect situation to drop points, especially on Boxing Day, as Leeds United. But we came out of that with 3 points. And I think we've learned how to take that control from Elland Road over to other places. And if we're able to do that throughout the rest of the season, then genuinely we are going to waltz the league. I think this is going to be the test of whether or not we can do it consistently, just because Derby are going to play, I think, significantly more passive stuff than Stoke, who tried to play out from the back. Bless them. They were abysmal, but they did their best. I think this is going to be the ultimate test of whether or not that is something that we can sustain, something we can do regularly, something that we can make happen for us, while shutting down the likes of Nathaniel Mendes-Lang, who has many, many assists for them. I say many. He's got 4, but finding goal scorers at Derby is not very easy in the first place. Do need to discuss the predicted lineup, as I said I would, and we've gone for a little bit of changey. Not much, and it's rotational change, but I've gone with Ilham Alier in net, as you'd expect. Basically, don't change your goalkeeper in the middle of a season because it's daft. Yeah, he drops the occasional point, but at the same time, distribution was vastly better against Stoke, and that save that he made in the opening minutes, genuinely, I would say, set the tone for the match. If that goes in, Stoke are able to just say, okay, cool, we've done our thing, and wait. We were able to actually play football against a team that wanted to play football back as a result of that early stop. Keep him in. Backline, I'm going to say Bogle, Stroke, Rodon, Byram. Fairly typical, but you might as well. It works, and I'm not going to really change up a defence that I saw this statistic earlier, and I'm going to go into a little bit more detail on it in a couple of days, but Leeds United's defence has conceded the fewest shots of any championship side per game in the last 11 years. I don't know about beyond that because that's how far back the graph went. but we are the best defensive side in the last 11 years in the Championship in terms of shots conceded. Genuinely incredible. Don't break up this defence if we can help it. In front of it, I've gone with a little bit of rotation. I've dropped Rothwell to bring Tanaka in. I kind of want to see a little bit of Tanaka Ampadu in that midfield pairing, just because I think that's going to be a very, very fun, fascinating midfield set to play with. In front of that, pull James out, not because I think James is doing badly, but because I think he could do with a bit of a rest. It would be ideal to beat Blackburn on New Year's Day, and of the two matches, I think this is the one that we have a better chance of winning straight up as is. So drop him out, bring in Ramazani, see how he can do. Aronson stays in, Solomon stays in, and as much as I don't necessarily like his number 9 play, I've kept Joel Piroux in there. Purely because he scored twice. You can't really say no to someone who scored twice, can you? It becomes very, very difficult to drop someone in that instance. I did have a little bit of a look as well at how Derby play at home, because they were awful away. I thought maybe if they got a little something somewhere. And honestly, yeah, I didn't expect to see this, but at home, vastly better. 20 points from 11 matches this season, which is relatively huge. Having a quick look again, 6 wins, 2 draws, 3 losses, scored 19, conceded 10. They're a very, very solid side when they're playing at home. Their last 2 matches are beating West Brom and Portsmouth. Portsmouth you expect to beat, sure. But those aren't bad performances in the slightest. They're 9th in the away table. Away table? Home table. Meanwhile, we kind of need to keep racking up wins away from home. There is a chance that this match is going to be that landmine that causes problems. So when it comes to predictions, I think this is going to be a tougher match than Stoke. I don't think it's going to be one of those games where we just have the ball and dominate it. I'd love it to be the case. That'd be wonderful if it was, because we are a better team than Derby. But I think at Pride Park, they're going to play better. It'd be impossible for them to play worse. Well, Plymouth. But it'd be very, very difficult for them to look worse than they did at Elland Road. I think they're going to improve. I do think we'll get the win. I think it's going to look less comfortable than we want it to. I'm going to say a 2-1 to Leeds, not with tons of confidence, but I think maybe they have a chance to score a goal, but I think that's after we sort of seize control of the match and maybe make a mistake slipping up after we are basically dominating. That's the hope, at least. I hope it's not Derby scoring first, because that would be a little bit of a worry. Anyway, as always, that's just my opinion. Let me know yours in the comments down below. Like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you're not yet, comment what you think the scoreline will be. That's always really appreciated. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you later. I am also considering doing some tricky things with YouTube videos soon. I've seen some little hints and tips for the algorithm. So enjoy those soon. See you later.